Why Jungkook never sounds the same twice live. Why most singers spend years trying to make every performance sound exactly the same, but Jungkook does the opposite. Most singers spend years trying to make every live performance sound as close to the studio version as possible. Consistency is often seen as the ultimate goal, but Jungkook seems to approach live music differently. If you've watched several performances of Into the Sun, you've probably noticed that no two versions sound exactly alike. A phrase changes, a note lingers longer, or even a single word becomes something completely new. So why does Jungkook keep changing a song he already sings so well? To understand why, we first need to understand what a live performance really is. Recording a song in the studio allows artists to perfect every detail. A concert is different. It's a real-time conversation between the performer and the audience. Some singers try to recreate the recording as faithfully as possible. Others treat every performance as a new interpretation. Over the years, Jungkook has shown that he belongs firmly in the second group. What makes Jungkook's performances so interesting is that the changes are often subtle rather than dramatic. He rarely alters the melody itself. Instead, he changes how the melody feels. One night, he may soften the opening line. Another night, he stretches the final note just a little longer. Sometimes he delays a phrase by a fraction of a second, creating a completely different emotional atmosphere without changing the song's structure. Professional singers often talk about phrasing the way a lyric is delivered rather than simply sung. Two performances can contain exactly the same notes while feeling completely different because the phrasing changes. Jungkook frequently adjusts his phrasing depending on the moment. He plays with breathing, emphasis, and timing in ways that make each version feel personal, even though the song itself remains familiar. Another reason the performances sound different is emotion. Human voices naturally respond to emotional states. Confidence, excitement, nostalgia, or gratitude can all influence tone and delivery. Rather than hiding those differences, Jungkook often allows them to become part of the performance. Instead of trying to reproduce the same emotion every night, he reflects what he feels in that specific moment, giving each concert its own character. Perhaps the most charming example is a tiny detail many fans have noticed. During several concerts, Jungkook has playfully replaced the word honey with the name of the city where BTS was performing, turning it into Vegas, Busan, London, and other locations. Musically, it changes almost nothing. Emotionally, it changes everything. In just one word, the audience feels that the performance belongs uniquely to them. This may explain why fans continue watching fancams even after hearing the official performance. They're not simply replaying the same song, they're looking for the small differences. Which note did he hold longer this time? Which lyric did he emphasize? How did he shape the final chorus tonight? Every performance becomes something worth discovering, even for people who already know the song by heart. Ironically, singers can only change a song freely after mastering it completely. Spontaneous choices are possible because the technical foundation is already secure. Breath support, pitch accuracy, and muscle memory remain consistent, allowing the artist to focus on expression instead of survival. What sounds effortless on stage is often the result of thousands of hours spent building the control needed to make those small adjustments safely. Many people confuse consistency with repetition, but they are not the same thing. Consistency means maintaining quality. Repetition means delivering every performance in exactly the same way. Jungkook consistently stays on pitch, preserves vocal stability, and supports difficult phrases. Yet he rarely repeats every emotional detail. The foundation remains familiar, while the interpretation continues to evolve from one concert to the next. Live music is shaped not only by the singer but also by the audience. The energy inside an arena can influence pacing, confidence, and emotional intensity. A crowd singing every lyric back to the artist creates a different atmosphere from a quieter venue. Rather than ignoring those differences, Jungkook often responds to them, allowing each audience to leave its own imprint on the performance they experience together. This is also why fans rarely feel satisfied with watching only one version of Into the Sun. Each concert offers something slightly different. One performance may highlight vocal power, while another feels more intimate through softer phrasing and longer pauses. Even when the arrangement stays unchanged, the emotional journey continues to evolve, giving every fancam its own reason to exist. This approach reflects something larger than a single song. Throughout the years, Jungkook has often treated live performances as living experiences rather than fixed reproductions. Whether adjusting a phrase, extending a note, or making a small lyrical change to acknowledge the city he's performing in, those choices suggest an artist who sees every stage as unique instead of simply repeating what worked before. When people ask why Jungkook's live performances continue to attract attention, the answer isn't only vocal technique. Technique explains how he maintains stability while making subtle changes. It doesn't fully explain why audiences return to watch multiple versions of the same song. What keeps them engaged is the feeling that every performance offers a slightly different story, even when the music itself remains unchanged. So why does Jungkook never sing Into the Sun exactly the same way twice? Perhaps because he doesn't see live music as something to reproduce, he sees it as something to experience. The melody stays familiar, but the emotions continue to grow, shaped by the moment, the audience, and the city standing in front of him. For many fans, that's exactly what makes every performance worth hearing again, not because it's the same, but because it never truly is.